Okay, let's start, and I promise to be a little bit quicker than the previous presentation. So, e-media fake news versus subjective truth. So, first of all, I'd like to ask all of you, who of you or your organizations have Facebook accounts? So, actually quite a lot, and Twitter accounts? And Instagram, maybe? Maybe something else? Okay. Okay, let's move forward. So very shortly about organization I'm representing. It is so I'm from Latvia, and we are working already more than 6 years. So we have official members over 200, but we are working nationwide. All our activities are nationwide. And we are closely collaborating with Latvian Society of Cardiology, also Latvian Stroke Association, and we are also proud to be members of international networks, especially European FH Patient Network. So about me, why am I'm here? I suppose it's because of these reasons. I was invited by Jules to make this presentation. I have experience actually already more than 20 years working in PR and journalism. And right now I am a head of a patient organization, and also at the same time I'm an owner of PR agency Be Proud. I also still run. And I am also chief editor of a magazine for Heart and Health. And I am also writing as a freelance journalist articles about heart health for leading health magazine of Latvia. So about e-media, I'd like to tell that this what I'm going to tell, it's not theory, it's actually my and the practical experience of my colleagues working in our country and doing all these things. So how do we define e-media? Actually, it's everything we see, we use these days. Phones, radio, TV, computers. E-media is also devices that are not connected online, like it could be also like audio records or some CD-ROMs or slide presentations are also considered to be e-media. But what we'll talk more about today is this online content. So what are then benefits today of this all online communication we get involved? So benefits mostly are that we can put a lot of information, we can update it regularly, we can do it on real time, which is I think very, very big advantage. We can educate people, we can build communities, we can get feedbacks from these communities, and it's a very huge awareness we can reach using online media, because when we start a message in one country, it can be read in another part of the world at the same time. But there are always also disadvantages. And so the first of all, these are fake news. These are fake accounts that have been used, different kind of accounts like Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts. It is a question of security and also reputation, and bad comments we can get for any tweets or anything we put on Facebook. So what we had to do, we had to be very critical about all the content we get online. Unfortunately, it's just not for entertainment, it's also to get news, and very often people even do not use some news portals, which are not also always very trustful, but use just, for example, social medias or their Twitter account just to know what's going on in the world. So we have to think about before we share or like the news. Do we really open all the links, or we just put share and like, and others see and think that it's your opinion, although you even haven't read the article? Do we always check the research and author? Do we always think if it's really trustful? And can really anyone trust an author opinion leader on internet? I mean, if really anyone who writes something on internet and gets retweeted or shared, is it really a trustful resource? So these are questions we all should think about before we move on. I think we have seen something very similar, and these are things that are going on in the whole world right now. And this is actually the trend that's happening, and it faces also healthcare. It's not just politics. It's overall, and it's really spreading very fast. And this is why we have to talk about it and how to and have to think about it. So, how to recognize fake news? First of all, we should start with experts, with those who are saying that. In our country, it's very popular. In every case, use British scientists said, without naming a university or some other names where they come from, but British scientists have discovered, said, or something. Then there's often no reference at all, or there are some dodgy and suspicious and very interesting portals. So about fake news also, there could be no author, there could be very loud headline, because all the portals are interested to get these clicks, and that means that not the headline could be totally different from the content that's inside, but you will still either click or share and make the business for them. There could be mentioned no information source at all. No one else is writing about that. Pictures are not relevant to text. They are in often cases, just very scandalous, but they are not. In reality, the text is about something other. And very often also these fake news are used for advertisement of different kind of products or different kind of services, or actually also for black PR. What are the most often myths about statins we have heard on media? I guess you also have faced news about that, how really significant life-threatening side effects have statins, and that's why people in general have to stop them. There are British scientists says that effectiveness is very questionable. There are news that also very high cholesterol levels shouldn't be treated, because cholesterol is very good still for the heart. And there are offered a lot of different kind of natural either supplements, food supplements, or other things you can use in order to treat your cholesterol, but don't use these statins. So these are messages that we can find very often on our agenda. So statins, I also included PCSK9 and fake news, because it is what's going on right now in our media, and I guess also in media of other countries. We have very popular magazine. It is called Kuārti tev nestāsta. That means what doctors don't tell you. And it sounds kind of ironic, but it's on the top of most read magazines, even among entertaining magazines, because people do really read, and they do really believe in this kind of things, and they even go to their doctors and ask. So this is a magazine which always has one or two articles dedicated to very bad statins. And in this time, I also found, it was some 2 months ago, an article that is called, "Is this cholesterol threat or effective medicine for heart disease patients?" So it's written about how very bad is this PCSK9. So they have dedicated a big article for that. Although we have no other information about PCSK9 in media at all in our country right now, since it's not reimbursed. And we are just talking about it with patients. So this was their first PR in this magazine. So here are some examples of the news. I have translated the headlines so you can understand. It's on internet. I think we can already see the picture, the lady with the glass ball. You can imagine what could be the content related to cholesterol and statins. So these are examples of fake news. At the beginning of this article, for example, we can there was a picture of an old lady who is suffering from high cholesterol and different kind of heart diseases, and it's written a lot about cholesterol and so on and so on. And as we see from the headline, in 3 weeks she didn't need any statins or something, but just a margarine. So this is also way to tell, and this is also kind of example of fake news, and people do really believe, unfortunately, and people also buy. In our country, it's a very big number of money people spend buying food supplements, also for lowering cholesterol, and at the same time complaining about very expensive drugs, which are actually cheaper than to buy these food supplements. This is in English, and this is also the way how these fake news are spread these days by different kind of opinion leaders, for example, on Twitter. This was an article I read because opinion leader who is telling a lot of things about healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, and he owns on his own shop that sells different kind of natural oils. Actually, nothing bad for the health, but he all the time spreads, finds somewhere very interesting information about statins, and he spreads to his community, and he has followers who also read this information. Or this article, for example, I like very much. Statins have a darker side, and we are aware that there are maybe some side effects and so on. But this article, of course, is dedicated about how very bad are statins for people. So how can we combat them, and should we do it at all right now? That would be my answer. And I think we shouldn't go and jump under the strain, which is moving very fast, because these activities of fake news, they are really going on. They are spreading, and they are growing and influencing. I wouldn't say that it is always right to answer all these tweets. All what is written on the Facebook, because very often people who do that, they are not interested in some normal conversation. They are not interested in the real truth or facts or even dialogue, because it could be that they have also their arguments, but they are often just for example, you can start to say, no, statins are very good. We know our patients are taking them, but at the same time you can get like knife in your back. Okay, you are sponsored by pharma, we know. And that's the end of the story, and what people get from this conversation is that you are sponsored by pharma, and that's why you are lobbying statins. So my suggestion would be, if we talk about to stay in the shadow or to be on the stage, to do it smart way, to do it our way, by intellectual way, I'd like to say, by educating and informing people and giving this right and objective information. And how to do that? I'd suggest to create own web page, or if you have web page, you can put there just a special part dedicated, for example, to medicines, different kind of medicines, and to give real researches, to give facts, to give these comments of experts, to be active on different kind of social media, to share materials online, all materials you produce, either flyers for patients, either some brochures or something else. Do that, put there, because it will stay there and people can find it. Use general media. This is about PR in general, because every press release we send out, every interview or opinion which is published in some internet portal, it stays there. And if these facts if there is that objective truth, also people by searching information might find this information. Organize events, celebrate awareness days, because it's a very good reason just to talk about these problems. It is also very important, if you want to do that and do not want to look like fake news producers, I'd like to suggest always involve experts, and experts, not just patients, because in a lot of societies, people think that the patients, they do not know a thing. What can they know? They just need to be treated and that's it. And that's why it's very good always to involve, for example, cardiologists. This is what we do. In every article, whatever we do, we always involve cardiologists, sometimes neurologists and other specialists. Use references, use real patient stories, use trustful media channels, and tell the truth. Some examples of what we did might also inspire you or get some ideas. We have actually 3 web pages, but here are examples of 2 web pages. This on the right side is a web page. It is made like a kind of news portal. It's our web page of our organization. On the left side, we prepared a year ago a web page that was dedicated just to cholesterol. It is called For Cholesterol. And the aim of this web page at the beginning was to put in there this objective information, especially about treatment, because a lot of patients are not treated. They are not aware of cholesterol levels, and they do not use statins or stop using them. Also, thanks to these fake news. So we prepared such a website. We also, what we do, we produce magazine that is being printed in more than 30,000 copies in Latvian and Russian, because a part of our country speaks also Russian. And we also put this information, this magazine, on internet. And as online version, the same text. Here is, for example, an interview with a family where they all 3 have FH. So by using Google search engine or by typing cholesterol familial cholesterol FH, you can find probably one of these articles again. So this is again an opportunity to use the internet for the information you actually already have. Twitter, different kind of news. We retweet FH Europe. We produce our own news. We try to put them on Twitter. Also, we have not much followers, but what is more important, that according to our experience, a lot of journalists and decision makers are using Twitter, and it's very important that they can see that message and read, and maybe not retweet, maybe not put a star or a heart, but they will be aware of the problem. So Facebooking, of course. And articles in the news portals. These are news that we have produced, and they are published in main leading news portals, and you can still find by different by searching for words like cholesterol, statins, and so on. And at the end of the day, we have reached that we won it. After a year of this page called cholesterol, by searching in a Google in our country for the word statins in our language, which is almost the same as in English, the first page you can get is our web page. The first result you can find. So people who would search about these medicines, they will find our web page where the information we have prepared together with our specialists. This is our web page. This is what people see when they open that link. Previously we saw this is all the information about statins, side effects, what do they have to know, answers and questions about statins, and so on. And I know that Heart UK has actually very good information about statins. With the questions and answers that could be also, sorry? Statin conundrum. And this material actually could be used for other patient organizations, could be translated in own languages and put on websites, because we think that education will not harm anyone to get to know more about. We do not mention actually medicines, the names or brands, but we talk about different kind of treatments what are available for people. Also by telling dark side of statins and the good side of statins, so people can understand. And this is how we see that, of course, this is slide in almost all my presentations, because this is how I see that these things will go on, and I think in some years we'll meet and the discussion will be totally other, because digital or e-media is developing very fast, and we have to be aware and to be put on a pulse all the time, our hands. So thank you, and I will pass. Yeah, Jules? Okay, then that's okay, and yes, thank you.